We are going to go and say a very good morning here to the Minister of Transportation for the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador, the Honourable Member for Harbour, Maine, Tom Hedderson. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Randy.
How are you, Minister?
I'm doing fine this morning. This summer has been absolutely fantastic, Randy. I can't believe waking up to sun every day.
If this is global warming and environmental change, I hate to say it.
Bring it on, Randy. Bring it on.
You and I are both guilty of it, eh? We both love it.
For sure, Randy, and I'm sure the golf clubs have gotten a lot of use over this summer.
Well, my wife would tell you they're worn out.
Absolutely, but again, it's fabulous for our people, Randy. In light of some of the last summer's the one.
Well, that's right. The price we paid for last year, we're only getting paid back now.
Absolutely.
Minister Hedderson, obviously one of the things we wanted to talk about, I'm glad that you got, I think we may have gone looking for you. I don't know. Did the producers go searching for you this morning?
I'm not sure.
All right. Somebody warned you.
Last week, Randy, I've been monitoring it, and today I put it in my mind that I would phone in and speak with you about it so that we could get out the information that I think people need in order to fully understand what's happening. Because
Greg Malone calls in. Greg Malone calls in at the earliest part of the program this morning, basically.
Yes.
Brings up the issue with the spray programs. He's an influential person in our community, and certainly I recognize that he was in support of the ban, which I helped champion.
Yes.
At my political level, and the end result was that government brought in a ban. Banned 5 of these major pesticides. You wouldn't be able to use them in the community. You're not able to use them for domestic or cosmetic purposes on your lawn. And then the government turns around and says, we're going to implement a spray program to follow our brush cutting on the highway, and the very chemical we banned is the one we're going to use. And the word hypocrisy seems to flow easily off the lips when you consider that. How would you, and or the Minister of Environment, but I've got you, how would you respond to the charge that government is being just a touch hypocritical here?
Well, let's go back a year, Randy, and of course there was a lobby to ban the use of some pesticides, I guess, on lawns, residential lawns, and the government listened, responded, and certainly placed a ban on the unnecessary use of pesticides as opposed to the necessary use. So the unnecessary use was, again, for residential purposes, for greener lawns and so on and so forth, because there was a feeling throughout the province that it was certainly getting out of hand. And again, the government reacted by putting a ban on the unnecessary use. But again, we're very clear for those that wanted to hear that where it was for necessary use, that would continue.
Necessary versus unnecessary, defined by whom?
Well, basically, Randy, it was not because of health concerns that this particular pesticide was banned. It was banned because, again, it was been used indiscriminately by individuals who had no understanding of the proper way in which to put it on, and it was getting out of hand, as opposed to necessary use to protect our infrastructure, namely our brush cutting on our roads, to protect the highway safety, and so on and so forth. So this necessary use was to continue, and we were clear on that.
All right. Therefore, you're arguing...
It wasn't banned for health reasons.
It wasn't banned for health reasons.
No. It was banned because, again, anything that you use, you got to know what you're doing, how to apply it, where to apply it, and you got to be very sensitive to areas where you shouldn't be using it.
So you guys just bent to political pressure when we all came away from the government announcement of the ban of these 5 pesticides and patted ourselves on the back that we had successfully done something that needed to be done. Government had no real change of heart or commitment to this cause. You went along with the political pressure and said, okay, we'll ban it for cosmetic use, but understand we ourselves, we're going to continue to use it. And you're saying that was clear from the get-go.
Yeah, because again, you're missing the message, Randy, is that basically what was happening was that these agents were being used indiscriminately on our lawns by people who were not trained. And, they were being used at every lawn all over the place, and it was getting out of hand. And government followed the lead of other jurisdictions in making sure that people understood that this was for residential areas. But there was still this Tour-Down 101 that we're talking about. That's not banned anywhere in Canada with regard to necessary use.
I don't know. It feels like
you know what the
Minister. It feels like you're splitting hairs. I got to be honest.
We're not splitting hairs, Randy. Is that again? If somebody is adamant that there is no spray to be used anywhere, I respect him for that. But this is a real world that we're living in, and we have to make sure that we are protecting, and in my case, the roadsides. And the tremendous pressure that's put on drivers in trying to identify these big animals going across the road, and we're trying to put as much tools in our toolbox to be able to achieve that.
All right, but if not chemical, let me put it to you this way: if not chemical solutions to the roadside problem, do you not think there are other solutions that would have been equally effective?
Which we incorporate. But again, let's get back to the agent that we're talking about, the herbicide that we're talking about, Randy. Are you familiar with it?
No.
So you're not familiar with it, but then you're saying that.
Well, I don't use it. You see, I don't use it. I'm not familiar with it.
No, that's not. No, Randy, that's not what I'm saying. Is you like a good many more. I just hear it's a herbicide, so it can kill animals, it can cause cancer, it can do this, it can do that. But in actual fact, that's not true.
All right, tell me more.
Okay, do you know how it works?
You have to spray it on, and I understand it's significantly diluted.
Yeah.
When it gets
how does it work?
When it gets sprayed on, I don't know what it does to the plant. I don't know the science. Come on.
Okay, so what it is, you're talking about 2,4-D. This Tour-Down 101. This 2,4-D and picloram. Two agents, really, I guess you'd call it, right? And they're looked at to take care of trees, shrubs, and weedy plants. Okay, that's what we're targeting with regard to our spraying. And what it does, it mimics, plant hormones, and it just drives the plant uncontrollably rapid growth, to the extent that it literally starves itself and dies.
Okay.
Okay,
so that's how it works. That's how it works.
That's how it works, right? Now,
and this stuff. So there is no issue with.
Do you know how toxic it is?
I do not.
Okay.
How toxic is it?
Well, when you look at different chemicals like vitamin A, when you look at table salt, would you say that's toxic?
No.
Or how toxic would that be?
I wouldn't consider table salt to be particular. I'm sure it is, but I wouldn't consider it to be particularly toxic. Well, unless it's in large doses, large quantities.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Anything in large quantities, we know, Randy, could have detrimental effects on anything.
Right.
But toxicity of these two that I looked at is in the same category as table salt and vitamin A.
Then why did you ban them? If they're so innocuous, why did you ban them, and why did we want the ban?
Because Randy, remember what I said earlier? We didn't ban it because of health. We banned because the indiscriminate use of pesticides, herbicides on residential lawns was getting out of control and is not necessary. You don't need to put all of these chemicals on a lawn just for cosmetic purposes. It shouldn't be added. There's all sorts of natural ways that you can. And what's wrong with a scattered weed in your lawn?
I don't mind.
Okay, so it's unnecessary use that we banned. You following me?
Yeah, I understand all of that. And I said defined by, and we went to defined by whom.
Yeah.
Right. What is necessary to someone is unnecessary to someone else. You know what I mean? That's an open kind of little agenda there. The biggest challenge to the whole thing from the perspective of we banned it at your request, so you guys can't use it, but we are going to use it ourselves. We don't believe it's very harmful at all. The toxicity and the level of impact this is going to have on the environment is so minimal, you compare it to table salt.
I do.
That's where you're coming from. So this program continues. How far along are we with the program?
Well, you're still not allowing me to follow through with my messaging, Randy, because you got to understand everything about
I think I got
this
it, though,
in order to make a decision as to whether we should be or should not be doing it.
All right. Well, okay.
Okay, so toxicity, right? Now, what about I went in and gave you a glass full of this stuff? What effect would it have on you, Randy?
I have no idea.
Okay, the molecules that you take into your mouth are going to exit the other end unchanged.
Okay.
All right, so they don't hang up in animals, in our bodies.
Okay.
Okay, but what is very sensitive to any table salt or anything is, of course, our fish. So we got to make sure that we have the proper buffer zones around the spraying of this herbicide to protect our waterways. And this is another reason why any unnecessary use of this, Randy, should not take place. Not because, again, for human health, right? Blueberries, if I sprayed on the side of the road, would you eat the blueberries after I sprayed?
No.
No, probably not. You say I'll take a precaution. But even if you did, Randy, what's going to happen? They're going to go into your mouth and come out the other end, again, unchanged.
All right,
You're
Minister.
not going to get sick. You're not going to get sick.
I'm going to have to stop you there because I'm way over time for the break.
Yeah, but you know what, Randy, before there's a lot more I have to say, right? And again, having the proper information is absolutely important. And I know, we're trying to get a message out that, take in all the information before you jump. Right?
Okay,
and
yeah, you're saying primarily this stuff when used properly is harmless.
But this stuff, when used, can do the job that it's supposed to do without any health risk to the people that certainly are around it.
All right.
Because that's what the big concern is, that moose are going to be dropping off dead, and birds are going to be dropping out of the sky, and all of these things. Randy, we've been spraying this for years.
I'm going to say, we've been using it for years. I don't think it's that.
Absolutely. And
I don't think it's to that degree.
Randy, the other thing is that we're not using it in every area. We have sensitive areas that we stay away from, such as municipalities, private property, water. And in my department, the rule is 30 meter buffer zone around these areas. We do 50. For waterways, the regulations are 50. We do 100. Why, Randy? Because we certainly want to make sure that any effects of this would be certainly so minuscule as to not to affect the ecosystem now which we're using it on. And the bottom line, we're making our highways safer.
We will chat further on this again, I have no doubt. Minister Tom Hedderson, Transportation and Works, the Honorable Member for Harbor, Maine. Good to talk with you.
Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, buddy. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, what do you think of what he had to say? All right, there's his challenge to all of the naysayers on this chemical.